So last time dosto, I made an Android app using Chat GPT completely in less than 1 hour. And now let's see how by using Chat GPT and GitHub Copilot from the last 4 months, I've been able to become a faster programmer, writing code up to 2 to 3 times faster. And before that, I want to share you a new job that is created with the help of AI, which is none other than prompt engineering. So if you look at this job description, this is AI project of Google. Basically, it says you don't need any degree. You will be able to get money just like a normal software engineer, 175 to 335K. The skills are prompt engineering. And if you look at all the requirements, you don't even need to look at it, because here you will see no deadline to apply. We encourage you to apply even if you do not believe you meet every single qualification. Without college degree, you basically have to do right prompts. Just like the questions you ask Chat GPT, you will be asking, or you will be writing all the questions which can give smarter results from ChatGPT, and you have to give it to the company. So that's your goal. It is pretty straightforward, and it is giving you around the same amount of money a Google software engineer makes. And I didn't believe it. So what I did, I went to prompt engineering jobs around me in Atlanta, in the US. I went through all of these job postings, and it is real. Many companies are looking for it, but some jobs may require more experience. So for example, this requires 3+ years of experience in prompt development, and I didn't even know that it has existed for 3 years, which was kind of an ironical. I went to LinkedIn as well, and when I went to LinkedIn, I was not able to find a single prompt engineer job at any experience level with any filter. But at some places you can find these jobs which are trendy, but I think these are very, very limited. Only few handful can get into this field, but still AI has been able to create jobs as well so far. Now here comes the most important part, that is reading documentation. आपको लगता है we programmers code all day? No. Research proves an average programmer codes 1 hour 25 minutes maximum a day. Maybe it could be more, but average is 1 hour 20 minutes. And what we do for the rest of the day? Research, reading, documentations. Now you can do it faster with the help of ChatGPT. I am an Android developer. A simple example will be, let's say this is an update for Android 14. So, this is get started with larger screens. Now, what I can do now is, rather than reading this whole huge documentation, I can just copy it, go to bing.com, because ChatGPT cannot search. So I can ask it, does this documentation contain information about Android 14 changes for Samsung device? Because let's say I have a bug with Samsung, I only need to know about Samsung device. I can ask it, and within few seconds, it'll tell me yes or no. So it'll tell me it does not share information about Android 14 for Samsung. So my issue for Samsung is sorted. I don't need to read that documentation. Another cool is with YouTube video. So let's say, you watch a YouTube video. So let's say you're taking this web development tutorial or course, it's 21 hours, and you just want to learn about Angular, just a small part in the course, but you don't want to watch 21 hours. So what you can do is transcript. This is YouTube GPT extension. You can download it, copy the transcript, and ChatGPT cannot handle this whole text. So what we can do is, let's take some part of it. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna take, to show you all, it can maybe take 25,000 characters, but to show you all, I'm just gonna take, let's say 25 lines, 12-minute video. So you will not watch 12-minute video. What you can do is, you can just give it to ChatGPT. So ask it, does above transcript contain information about React or Angular? If yes, tell me when and with the timestamp. So you don't have to watch the whole video. You can skip to that timestamp with the timestamp of Angular only, because let's say you just want Angular only. Okay, so let's say it can give you, no, the transcript does not mention about React or Angular. So 12 minutes, you don't need to watch that video, and I think it can maybe handle 2 hours. You can give it, and reading documentations is now faster. You can ask ChatGPT if this documentation contain information about specific parts that you are trying to read. Very, very powerful. But now let's talk about it, how you can code faster. So step number one, let's learn about prompt engineering, which has a job market as well. So let's learn about it on ChatGPT, and I'll also show you some features which only work on Bing. So I think the step number one will be, since I'm also going to show you GitHub Copilot, you should do is go to GitHub Developer Pack for student. So sign up, because with student you can get free GitHub Copilot, which is otherwise $10 per month. So this is great opportunity. You have access to so many good resources. So once you sign up on GitHub, you will even get access to GitHub Codespaces, which is like Visual Studio Code on cloud website with GitHub Pages. So all of these features are very popular. For example, I even have a website. So ihanu.github.io.resume, which I use it regular. I have an NFC tag, so I can show you in my wallet. I always have an NFC tag, which is linked in description below. So if whenever I go to a networking event, all I have to do is ask them to tap their phone on this NFC tag, and this link, GitHub link, my resume link, shows up. So it is so powerful. So make use of this opportunity. Now let's get back to ChatGPT. So we're gonna go to ChatGPT, and first thing is learning difficult concepts through prompt engineering. So let's say, कल क्या होता है? Let's say I'm an Android developer. Tomorrow I need to implement some Android 14 documentation. Let's say I need to implement Xiaxing library for camera scanning, right? And now this documentation is so hard for me to understand. I don't understand it. I don't know what Xiaxing is. I don't understand. I want to understand at a level I can explain to my friends. So what I can do is I can ask ChatGPT. For you, let's consider an example of UPI. So as an expert, so you always have to tell ChatGPT as an expert, and also give context कि किसे सिखा रहे हो, who is the learner. Give the context. As an expert in programming, tell me or tell a computer science student, because I'm a computer science student, how UPI payments work to a 4-year-old kid. So basically, in layman terms, even if you're a 4-year-old kid, you will be able to understand it. So let's see what it is saying. Imagine you have some toys. Oh my gosh, this is so simple example. Imagine you have some toys that you want to give to a friend, but your friend lives far away. You can't go to their house to give them toys, so you decide to send toys to your friend through a special messenger, that is UPI in your phone. Mind blowing. It is so simple, because when I was giving my interview for Google, Facebook, Amazon, everywhere, sometimes in your resume, which I showed you, right? So in my resume, they pick a concept and ask me, इसे अच्छे से layman terms में सिखाओ to a 5-year-old kid. And this is how you should learn as well. Learn through examples and learn through analogies. Another good prompt could be explain UPI, or let's consider a simple example of load balancer. In my networking class, they didn't teach me. So load balancer is in networking. Load balancer with the help of an analogy to a computer science student. So this is very, very helpful. When you learn through examples, you will never ever forget. A 4-year-old kid will never forget their toys. So this is very helpful. So let's see which example it's giving me for load balancer. So it's telling me, imagine you are running a restaurant, you're really popular, you're busy. Load balancer is like that as well. A server which is very busy. You want to eat at a restaurant, but you have only limited number of tables and seats. If too many customers come at once, you have to wait for a long time, and they get frustrated. So beautifully written example. I will never forget in my life how load balancer works, and I can explain it to my friends. Now, number 3 part to prompt engineering is making beautiful presentations of concept so that you can teach your friends. So let's say, UPI once again. Stay with me, it's very, very important. So explain UPI to a computer science student again, step by step, as an expert, with all details necessary relating to tech used. So all the tech they use, it's going to try to give me all the details, which is step by step. It's pretty good, but we're going to add some masala into it. I'm going to ask it, give me give me a way that I can make a wire frame, which is very very important for PowerPoint presentation, wireframe diagram with all arrows and direction in a tabular format. Okay, let's see what it does. So basically it is giving me all the parts of UPI, and what I can do is I can actually use it. It's so clear. I can go to a website called eraser.ai. So eraser.io actually. So I can create a new. So here, if I want to explain to my colleagues and make a PowerPoint presentation, I can even give this to some AI tools, but they will never be able to give a perfect job. It'll take me only five minutes. So what I'll do is I'll create text. So login form, and then let's increase size, and then we're gonna have some arrows. So arrow pointing to, oh come on, arrow. Then where's ChatGPT from? So first is login form, and then outbound arrow. So arrow bahar niklega as I did, and it will go to server. So I can go to text again, server, and then here, and then there will be outbound again, then to login form. So it will be another arrow from here to here. You get the concept. I'm not fast at drawing, but you're getting the point, right? How I can easily make a fully explainable diagram with the help of ChatGPT. If you think this explanation is wrong, it can give you wrong answers. You can provide it and ask it to make a table like this. Tabular format is magical in explaining hard concept to your colleagues, and especially for your presentations and notes. Now, next part of programming, that is coding, debugging, and deployment and testing. So we're going to try to do all 3 to 4 parts using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. So what do you think is better, GitHub Copilot or ChatGPT? Let's find out. So I'm going to open Visual Studio Code, and I have already installed. Go to extensions, GitHub Copilot. I've already installed it, and I told you sign it up for free. It is very very useful. Now let's go to a new file. So let's start with existing file. So I actually created this. Wait. Yeah. So I actually created this whole file with the help of an AI. So Google GitHub Copilot, all I was doing was I wrote this comment and it helped me autocomplete. So if I show you another example, let's say I write a variable new underscore tweet. So it's giving me complete answer, and I can hit tab, it'll complete it, or I can do command Z and then do option in Mac, then left square bracket, and then right square bracket, and it will give me more options. Here it is giving me only one option, but let's say I say to string equals, and here let's say option left, right, again one option. कई बार क्या होता है, it gives you multiple options, but here there's only one option. You can select a variable and do control enter, and on the side it will give you 10 options that you can do with this code. It is similar to ChatGPT, but I still think that ChatGPT is still better than GitHub Copilot. There's also a feature called GitHub Copilot Chat, which is like ChatGPT integrated. It's coming, it's in waitlist, you can sign it up. But I still think that ChatGPT is so powerful, you should prefer that. And let me tell you why it is more powerful. And some cases, and in some cases, you can definitely use GitHub Copilot. So let me tell you how. So what you can, so let's say I don't know Python, I'm a Java developer. Now, I want to learn how you can make a class. So on the bottom of this file, I'm gonna say comment make a driver class, which is of heavy driver, and let's say with but jokes apart, make a driver class to run the program and understand polymorphism and inheritance. Let's say you want to do this, and let's see what it does. So it's just auto completing. Oh, spellings are wrong. The AI gave wrong spellings, but let's say that I create class Twitter and then colon and enter. It'll keep giving me suggestions. So let's say definition init, and it completed the whole function with all the parameters based on the previous code it had. So it added all the parameters for it. And then next part we can do is get all tweets. Wow, it knew it. So it is very powerful in auto completing. In fact, you can ask it you can ask it to make an HTTP request. So let's say that I want to do hash make an HTTP request to let's say to get images from Google Images. Let's say let's say something like that. So let's see what it does. Get images. Oh wow. So here I can do option left, right, and it's giving it multiple options as I told you, right? So let's choose a simple option, and here HTTP requests are ready, and you can change it to any URL of your choice, and it is using the library called Beautiful Soap, and you can import it. So it does a great job in implementing, but it did not add import statements. So that's why I think ChatGPT is more powerful, and you can literally paste this code to ChatGPT, and let me tell you how to use ChatGPT in a better way. So what you can do is, so paste it, add the missing code in it or broken code in it, and tell me only the lines. So rather than giving the whole code, tell me only the lines you change with line numbers, so that you can see the difference before after. Because let's say you wrote this code, you want to improve it, and this will only tell you with line number which lines it's changing. So it's saying that I added import statement and the self parameter. So it did only two changes. So I added these import statement and added self. So where did it add self? Oh yeah, you can see here. So it added self right here. So you know what are done. So whenever you use ChatGPT, you should always do it in a way, जैसे हरकीरत ने बोला था ना, if you think it is a slave, it will enslave you and you will have imposter syndrome. Harkirat mentioned in his video that if you do not understand programming and always use ChatGPT, it is bad for you, because your learning curve will never be like this. It will be actually declining. So that's why try to understand what it is doing line by line, and I personally am understanding basically two changes: copy and paste, and now I can use it. And I have a prettier extension in my VS Code, so I can just do right click, format document, and it'll format for me. It didn't. Let's try again. Option F. Oh, Option Shift F. Option Shift F. I don't know why it didn't work. Sometimes it works prettier, but yeah, whatever it is, it usually works, and this is how you can write it beautifully. Next part, writing unit tests. What are the prompts you can use it? So let's say this whole file of generating tweets, you wrote it. Even though it's written by GitHub Copilot, you can copy it, and then you can ask ChatGPT, write unit tests with maximum code coverage. Sometimes, in GitHub PRs, whenever you create pull requests in GitHub, they require code coverage of 100%. So let's say with maximum code coverage of nearly 100%, and specify the number so that you know how much code is covered for the following, so that every statement is tested automatically. And let's see what it does. And here we go. It wrote a unit test and it gave you coverage. So basically it's telling me, then we, okay, with this single test, we achieve 100% code coverage, which is very important for programmers. I know whenever I write Android app, I do a small update, test break. And with this, I can ask the code coverage and have the best written unit test, making me faster. And it's not correct all the time, but still I get to know ki yaar, here it is done, and I can add more tests and use logic sometimes. I get more ideas when I use ChatGPT. Now, number 3 is writing documentation. Now, test done, debugging done, you can ask ChatGPT for errors, everyone knows that. And then last is documentation. So you can ask ChatGPT to write documentation, but let's do this time with GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to open GitHub Copilot Labs and just ask it to document it. So let's see what it does. So basically GitHub Copilot, what it does is it went to line number 15. It added documentation only from line number 15, and I don't like that experience. I want to do Command A and then do a write document, and it doesn't work that well. It actually works line by line. So for example, if there's a function, so let's say this is the function, and here it can write documentation for this function. So I have to do line by line, but ChatGPT will write the documentation all in one go. So I obviously prefer ChatGPT, but it's still loading. Let's see. Okay, so it's loaded. Now let's write add document. You can use all of these features. Debug will add a print statement. It is very powerful, but ChatGPT is much more powerful. It didn't do a good job. It couldn't write a documentation. Let's try again. So whatever you're trying to achieve, you can copy the code and ask it, add documentation before every method and make the code cleaner. And in the end, always specify what changes it do. In the end, tell me what changes you did. So you know what I've done. So basically now it's adding documentation. So for example, here it added, this is the class with description. This is the method and description. And every line is specified, and here is the summary of changes it did. And now your code is completed. And in fact, in the end, you can even ask it to write a README document, and your project will be complete, and you will be faster programmer in delivering this project. So isn't it so powerful? I hope this video was helpful for you all, and you can code faster using this technology as well. I've also used Bard, but Bard is nowhere near in terms of programming as compared to ChatGPT. So I hope it was helpful, and remember to check out like these NFC tags which you can program. They're like $5 in the US, might be 200 rupees. You can check it in the link in description below. And with this, you can add resume, and networking is seamless. Thank you so much for watching.